Ian and Steve to come up. And we have a couple of strategic partners, and tonight a couple of them are going to share just about the work of the National Christian Foundation. Ian is going to begin. Ian.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the chance to be here tonight. And, so much of what this is about is an invitation for us to have our imaginations awakened to what God is doing in the world, what he's doing in our community, and inviting us into that story and gathering together and hearing these stories and being inspired to think about how we can engage where God is calling us to join in his work around the world is really a wonderful thing, and building community around that is great. And I wonder if we spend as much time thinking and developing an imagination for what God has entrusted into our hands. And NCF, in a lot of ways, seeks to be a thought partner, someone to walk with you as you think about creatively what has God entrusted to you and how might you mobilize that and employ that and engage that in the world in meaningful ways. And really the point here isn't just a transaction, but as we've been hearing and thinking about, generosity is a wonderful bridge between what God has put in our hands and what God is putting on our hearts. And whether it's a journey of generosity or it's working with NCF, and if you turn to the inside cover of your book tonight, you'll see that NCF in a lot of ways is focused on that how to give, what to give. And you've probably heard this from Brian Feller before, and an emphasis on tax-smart strategies, and you'll see it there. And an invitation to think about how giving publicly traded stock works and giving other assets work to help mobilize resources for the kingdom. But I just want to say that as we think about that, and as we think about particularly publicly traded stocks lately, many of us, right, we think about and we connect giving and having. And I want to invite us to think that maybe the stronger connection, the connection that Jesus invites us to, when he says that it's more blessed to give than to receive, is to strengthen the connection between giving and living, actually stepping into the larger story of what God is inviting us into, to allow our lives to be enlarged through giving. So as you think about that, think about what God has put in your hands, developing an imagination for that. Would love to talk with you and think with you. You can reach out to myself or Brian or Lance Wood, who's also in your community. We'd love to talk with you about that, think creatively about what God's entrusted to you, but to the end and to the aim that you might step even more fully into the life and the stories that God's inviting you into, that you might live a bigger story through generosity. So I just want to thank you for the time and appreciate the opportunity to be here and look forward to chatting with you this evening. Thanks.